And welcome back, my fellow fiends, to Let's Play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Last time, we made it to the top of the obelisk after some setbacks and due to my incompetence with puzzle solving, but that's neither here nor there, right? Alright, what's you got to say? This time around, we're going to be taking on the Moire sisters, the Sisters of Fate. You know, coincidentally, I've been watching playthrough videos of God of War 2, since they put the newest installment of that series on Steam. It's got me thinking about it again. I've only ever actually beaten the first game. Anyway, we've got a very unique variation on the puzzles we've been dealing with so far. As you can see, we've got several blocks, and in a distinct twist from how the puzzles have worked up until this point, we actually have to bring down all of them. So let me see here. I do not want our Habaki for what's coming up. We want to bring in Matador, and then I want to equip the Geis Magatama. This isn't the most universally useful Magatama for the upcoming battles we're about to get into, but it is one that counters Expel-type magic, which one of the bosses will use, and it's just a decent all-around Magatama as far as stat bonuses. I don't really care about nullifying anything except Expel, so I may as well go with the one that doesn't make me weak to death in turn, even though it does not matter a huge amount. We'll get some Makatoras onto Karama there, and let me see here. Just want to take stock of my items. I'll use the Chakra Drop on myself. I may end up using that Great Chakra, but we'll see. Alright, so let's get the block puzzle activated. So to start this out, we have to go counterclockwise. So we want to start on the 1 panel here, and then go on to the 3 panel to bring down the eastern block. Or is it the western block? I can't tell how I'm oriented. Doing so will bring out Clotho. Well, in this case, I think you'd want to unwind her life. Anyways, Clotho here, she's not too terribly threatening. Biggest thing you have to watch out for is she has access to Mahama, but that is of no threat to our current team setup. So, I've got a pretty straightforward strategy for how I'm going to work this. I'm just going to Warcry her down once for her non-insta-kill attacks, and then we're just going to go in on the offense. And that's probably what I'm going to do for most of these fights. It will mix up after a bit. Yep, there we go. Mahama right off the gate, but everybody in my party is immune to that, so I am not concerned in the slightest when it comes to that. And at this point, I'm just going to start focusing to get our damage maximized here. So let's Rakunda, bring her defense down a bit. The big weakness that the Moire sisters have is that they do not have any counter to buffs or debuffs, so you do not have to concern yourself at all with them getting rid of those. And hey, if you're just going to keep doing Mahama, now do not overinvest on this fight. You can probably guess the reason for that, but this is not the only fight we're getting into. We do not want to go all in, and we definitely do not want to overextend our resources for the upcoming battles. I worded that very poorly. Basically, just don't go all in here. And after dealing like about 2,000 damage or so, or not. Alright, I actually... Yeah, just let her Mahama. Let's auto-battle this next turn. She should retreat after this. Oh, no. Well, the miss definitely did not help. Thank you, Matador. Alright, this one. Okay, there we go. I knew I was pretty close to the damage I needed to do. Yeah, Clotho can be slightly intimidating with the ability to insta-kill the Demi-Fiend, but overall not too threatening. Alright, let me think about this so I don't have the mistake I was having last time, so let me see. We want to get it up to full moon next, so... not want to... Oh, I know, duh. This is easy. Just walk onto the 1 panel once, back off, walk onto it again, and then walk onto the 2 panel. That'll put us at full moon. Yeah, I actually did want to slow my roll there and not screw up the puzzle, because if you do screw up this puzzle, you have to refight all the sisters all over again, so yeah, not desirable to do that. And here we have Lachesis, the second of the Moire sisters. Well, my measurement is that your life is about to end here, except not really, because, again, we're going to have another fight after this. Now, this one, Lachesis, she has access to buffs and debuffs, and that's kind of the only real counter the Moire sisters have in that regard, but I'm not overly concerned about that, so... yeah, let's get the Tarukaja up. Same again, we want to just get the War Cry in to bring her damage down a little bit. Oh, let's hit her with that. And then at this point, let's start focusing and trying to get our damage up. Might be worth it to use a Sukukaja, and oof, with the Rakunda in play. Let's just get a Sukukaja in. Not too worried about what she's going to do at this point. If she Rakundas us again, I'll get another War Cry in. Or, actually, nah, I can just Dekunda that off. And we'll do Tarukaja, Rakunda, get another focus, and then in the next turn, we will unleash our full fury. Okay, so she reflects magic, but I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, go ahead and slap me, I am not afraid. Here, take my slap instead. Better Medea, just to be safe. Better to err on the side of caution if she decides to double slap the Demi-Fiend. Okay, get another focus in. And we should be able to wrap this up within the next 2 turns, I'd say. Again, same deal as Clotho, she just retreats after a little bit. Okay, here is where we'll actually want to use a Dekunda. And that puts us in good standing. Let's Tarukaja, then Rakunda. Then I'm just gonna pass on the Demi-Fiend's turn, have Matador stab her, and we should be good to go there. So yeah, just pass on Demi-Fiend's turn, stab, good stuff. And what's she gonna do here? Alright, I'm fine with that. Here we can just auto-battle now. We're fully set up. Yeah, do that. Daisojo has Bright Might, which occasionally comes in handy in situations like that. And Lachesis, I'm not sure, I never figured out how to pronounce that one name. You know, Clotho, Atropos, very easy. Then there's Lachesis, Lacusis, I don't know. Alright, so let's have Daisojo just top us off here, because we got one more fight to get into. Probably going to want him to meditate on the next one also. So let me see here. So if I step onto the 1, it'll bring us down to 7, then down to 5. Yeah, so I can just back up onto 2, and then go onto 1, and we'll have our final fight here. So yeah, the one on the bottom left, you never even have to step onto. It'll just mess you up right out the gate. And naturally, the third of the sisters is here, Atropos. She's here to cut our life short. I had a better pun there than what you had to say. Thankfully, she does not get the first go here. Alright, so for this one, yeah, I'm actually gonna get straight into throwing out buffs and debuffs here. Want to get Daisojo to meditate once. Now, Atropos, compared to the other one, she is definitely the most offensively oriented. She will throw out various elemental magic. I believe she has access to every element, actually. And let's throw up a Sukukaja. Okay. And unfortunately, do not have anybody that can deal with a lot of the elements she prefers to use, but I'm not overly concerned with it. Okay. Just thinking about how I want to approach this. Nah. She does not use physical attacks very often, so it's not super harmful to try and taunt her if you want to do that. Yeah. I'm not too concerned about the damage she's going to deal, so let's get into focusing. Did I already focus as Matador? I wasn't paying attention to what I did on his turn. Let's actually pass. Let's just get another Tarukaja. We want to get the most out of this possible. Alright, another Mazionga. Not overly concerned about that. Yeah, now that's desirable. Alright, so we already got the Sukukaja up, so we can just do that. Throw out another Medea just to top everybody off. And at this point, we should have this in the bag. Alright, that's perfect. Alright, now we can just auto-battle. And yeah, not a terribly threatening fight, really. Yeah, you go and do that. That'd only really be threatening if it... Yep, she's got every element. I wasn't sure if she actually had every element or not. The playable version of her, I don't think she gets ice magic. Don't quote me on that, though. I am very frequently wrong about a lot of things. I would actually like to research a lot more for these Let's Plays and make sure I'm always correct with the things that I assert, but I just don't have the time for that these days. And the nice thing about her being magic-focused is that I do not have to worry about criticals, so that is not something that will randomly ruin my day. Alright, and just punch her once again. Yeah, ooh. I might be cutting it a little close here. You know what, let's throw up Tsukukaja, just in case I didn't put her over the damage threshold. Okay, she's done. So that was unnecessary. I was playing a little risky there. The Demi-Fiend's HP was pretty low, so if she used the wrong combination of spells, that could have cost me. Yeah, don't do what I do a lot of the times. I play needlessly risky. Alright, speaking of playing needlessly risky, instead of actually going back and saving, let's just head forward. Let's press on. Let's press the advantage. I was just taking stock of my money there. We're actually going to, very soon, need that huge amount of Maka that I talked about. So, once you solve the puzzle, you do not have to resolve it. You can go back and save if you want to, but where's the fun in that? Alright, so I'm actually going to use that Great Chakra. I would kind of like to have that 7,000 Maka, but it's not a huge deal. I can work around not having it. And if we ride up here, we're going to have our final encounter for the obelisk. So let's go on up. So, once again, we meet with the Moire sisters, and they retreated before so that they can all attack us at once. And snip. Snip, snip, snap. Let's see, do they get to go first in this encounter? I always forget which bosses... Okay, they don't. Okay, that's actually to our benefit. So I'm actually going to focus on getting buffs and debuffs up just to start. May as well throw out Rakunda here just for fun. But we definitely want to Warcry them. They don't have any great counters to this. The only thing they have is Lachesis. She has her buffs to try and counter you a little bit on that front. And just get Tsukukaja onto everyone to minimize the chance of missing. Now, they only get one press turn apiece between all of them. I am A-okay with them using Makarakaran there. So I'm actually going to taunt here to bring their defense down really quickly. We'll use Tarukaja, Rakunda. We'll do one more Warcry, and then that's when we're going to go on the offensive here. So Warcry them. Now, Lachesis has, I've gone through 5 different pronunciations of her name. She does have access to Tetrakarn, but she's kind of inconsistent about what she decides to use. Atropos, she sticks to using her magic, so I'm not concerned about that. Here, we're going to start using Andalucia. This is the big reason why I wanted Matador. Check out that damage. Excellent stuff right there. And we'll just prayer off that charm there. And honestly, I'll probably only have the Demi-Fiend attack on turns where Makarakaran is not in effect. Because honestly, it's just way more efficient to have Matador do it at this point. As you can see, Klothos has some healing magic, but it's not enough to keep up with the damage that we're laying out. How much does that do? I might want to throw out another Warcry just to bring their magic back down into orbit. It'd be really nice if, what is it? Matador got some crits there. Alright, gonna pass here, use Warcry again. And can I get the coveted crit? That would be really nice if I did. But yeah, they only get one press turn apiece, so that actually makes them considerably less threatening than they would be otherwise. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. There we go. Honestly, I don't even need to heal off because they decided to do that. So let's do this. We'll get another Tarukaja in. I think this is the last one. Okay. And they are not immune to force magic, so we can just throw out Tornado. Oh, nice! Even better than what Andalucia was doing for me. And now Atropos is on her own, and she is completely hosed. She has one press turn to her name now, and she cannot do too much with that. So honestly, we can pretty much just auto-battle this fight at this point. I'll throw up Medea just to be safe, but otherwise we've got this in the bag. Let's just auto... Oh, never mind. So yeah, looks scary, but it's actually a much easier fight than you'd expect. Also, to be frank, that's probably going to be the last hurrah for Matador. At this point, he's really going to start falling off, and I'm probably going to either fuse or sacrifice him at this point. For defeating the Moire sisters, we get Jed. That is a Magatama that teaches buff skills. So if you want to get buffing skills onto the Demi-Fiend, this is the Magatama to use. I don't really like buffs on the Demi-Fiend all that much, to be honest. Just because buffs never get up to like a tier 2 level, it's generally more efficient to have debuffs on him. And then even the debuffs will have something that replaces those altogether later on. One thing to note about this is that it makes you immune to curse-type ailments, and there is one fight in the game where it is phenomenally important that you are immune to curse, and Jed is the easiest way to have access to that, so do keep it in mind for that. I'll point that out when it becomes relevant, but right now we're not going to worry about it too much. So, what awaits us at the top of the obelisk? There is a light coming from above. Let's ascend. After the game is done blinding us for a moment, we find Miss Takao, and she is not in a particularly comfortable position. Let's free her. I don't think she's being used exactly for altruistic purposes here. Fortunately, the Demi-Fiend is capable of defusing the Magatsuhi link, and thus Miss Takao is brought down, and the Nightmare system is brought offline. So we've halted the assembly of Nihilo's stealing of Magatsuhi for a bit, but did we do it in time? But after all this time, we are finally reunited with our teacher. Only took me 6 years to get here. Yeah, it's funny how things ended up working out like that. I don't think anybody could have predicted us getting the power of Magatama, though. Looks like Miss Takao is having some serious regrets about what she decided to do. I must say, though, if she assisted in making the conception happen, she must have had some level of cynicism to her, which is quite ironic considering that she's a student counselor. Yeah, a lot of the games I've been playing seem to have, like, weirdly relevant political messages to them. It's not intentional by any means. I don't mean to make a statement by playing these games. Well, what are you gonna do going forward? Who could that be? Wait, what do you mean, teach you the reason for creation? Everybody we've come across so far that's had a reason in mind, they've conceived it themselves. I'm not sure how this is gonna work out for you, Miss Takao. Also, are you ready for a Japanese woman jump scare? Oh, she's turned into Rorschach. Who are you? Ah, Aradia. So, it's a being brought about in Amala. Wonder if they have any connection with Isamu. And while Aradia does not do too much for us, they do unlock new power within us. We get the final stock upgrade for the game, so now we can recruit 12 demons altogether. Alright, but what reason will you conceive? You know, we've been listening to others propagate their own reasons. Could we possibly create our own? The Demi-Fiend certainly wields considerable power. Well, something we're just gonna have to consider, I suppose. Oh, hey! It's the old woman and the kid. It's been quite some time since we've seen them. Alright. Oh, okay, that makes no sense. Man, I got that short end of the stick there. That kid has weird interests. But what if I don't want to follow any reason? I really hope they weren't telling the truth there. Well, that's just something we're gonna have to ruminate on for a while. Okay, now that that scene is over, we get dumped back at the base of the light. Now, something that there is still left to do is you may notice that there is another elevator block over there, and that'll take us to some additional treasure. However, I'm just gonna go back and save real quick, so let me do that, and then I'll meet you back here. Just the one thing that I wanted to comment on real quick, there was a treasure off to the side of the elevator leading to the puzzle that I forgot to grab. In here we get a Soma droplet. Nothing too major, but nice to have. Alright, meet you back where we need to be. Alright, here we are back at the entrance to the boss fight. We're gonna wrap around to the other side so that we can get to the elevator. This will take us downward, and there's some additional treasures for us to get here. Unfortunately, I'm here on a waning Kagetsuchi, which is bad because we've got 2 mystical chests, and unfortunately, they're spaced out just far enough that you can only get 1 of them per full Kagetsuchi, so I do have a lot of running around to do here, so let me cut ahead to when we have full Kagetsuchi for both of them. Alright, for our first treasure, what we get is a beat chain. Very nice. Probably going to sell that for the 5,000 Maka, because, again, I'm going to need a ton of that. Let's go get the other treasure. Alright, let's see what this other treasure is. In this mystical chest, we get a Bomb of Rising. Let me tell you, nothing makes me feel more trolled than getting that out of a mystical chest. Now, there's one last thing for us to check out in the obelisk, although this one is supremely unimportant. Alright, just gotta top off my MP here, going through a ton of this stuff. Let me see, put myself at that, give the rest to Kurama, and we should be good there. Yeah, the mana refill Makatora battery will definitely become better once we can fuse up into a demon that has much higher MP. Remember, the amount of MP is a percentage of your max, so demons with a higher MP are much more efficient for this. So, one last door for us to check out here, but yeah, if you fall from here, you will die. You cannot survive this drop like you would the Mantra HQ. Remember this door behind the obelisk for later, because it'll be important. Alright, that's just the last thing I wanted to show off. I'm going to return to the terminal, and we are going to head back to Asakusa. Meet you there. Alright, here we are at the terminal. Let's get the heck out of here. So, once again, we have to link back to a large terminal. This, of course, will take us to the Marunochi entrance to the Assembly of Nihilo. Yeah, I don't get why they put the large terminal there. It would make so much more sense for it to be at the base of the obelisk, but whatever. That's the game we've been given to work with. So we don't really have any direction at this point, so let's go back to Hijiri, let him know that we actually shut down the obelisk successfully. Now, I will tell you this, there are actually a couple of side quests that have opened up to us now that we have cleared the obelisk, so I'll definitely be taking care of those in the next video. One of them is the next fiend we can take on has become available. The other one is a bit of a hidden boss that I'm really not sure how you're supposed to know that it's there, unless you were just messing around in Shibuya, which is where it's located a bunch, and just happened to stumble upon the room. But even then, it is very unclear that at this point that room will actually have some kind of relevance. Yeah, I just noticed there's like a little cool little drum track going here. Alright, so what should we do? We rescued her, of course. I think this is a minor alignment bump if you've allied yourself with multiple reasons, or are going to in the near future. Technically, actually, I think at this point the only reason we can formally support is Yosuka. Alright, what do you got for us? Alright, we've gathered that so much for. Yeah, reason, we've heard plenty about reason. That's interesting. Miss Takao has received the protection of a god, but she did not actually have a reason. She was expecting one. So far, nobody's actually summoned a god to this world. Yeah, so we can put 2 and 2 together there and figure out that's Hikawa's endgame. He's already got his reason, so he just needs to bring the god about. This also means that Chiaki is probably looking for Magatsuhi herself. Hey, Samu! So he is surviving in there. He's a friend of ours. Strange. I don't know. He is our friend. And at this point, we can talk to Hijiri, and he can send us to Isamu. But we're not going to be doing that in this video, of course. Now, this is a bit of an awkward place to do, or an awkward thing to do as the last thing for this video, but just in the interest of making sure I don't forget later, let's pull an Aramitama out of the compendium and fuse that onto Oncut, so he can start getting some experience going. So, yeah, let's just see. I was kind of hoping he'd had Tsukukaja instead of Tarukaja, since Oncut already has Tarukaja at his disposal, but that's just what we gotta deal with. So let's just fuse until we get Watchful. Watchful and Bright Might? I can live with that. That is pretty good. Yes, we are positive. It's gonna be a while before this guy evolves, though. As you saw, he's got 5 skills to learn, so it's gonna be a long time before this guy actually reaches the level I want him to be at. But trust me, the payoff for it is excellent. He evolves into a very good demon, and ideally I can have him up to speed a couple major dungeons from now, but that's something we're just gonna have to see. I may off-screen go back to Ginza and trade in some of the jewels that we've got. We've probably got a bunch to get some Mitamas, and I'd like to get a couple Nigi Mitamas at this point if I have the gems to trade for them. I'll definitely fuse one onto Kurama, and maybe if I can get an additional one, maybe I'll fuse one onto Daisojo, since he would also benefit from having more magic, just to buff up the power of Medea. Don't always want to rely on prayer to restore our HP, just because it's so expensive to do so with that. But that's just something I'll look into in my own time. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.